if you have tried flying in India this week, there is a good chance you are seeing the panic around. Flights are getting cancelled last minute and giant queues at airport counters. So all this is being observed and people sleeping on the floor with their cabin bags as pillows. So and most of those blue planes you see parked on the tarmac, so they belong to the Indigo. So the country's largest airline. So today we want to just discuss in very simple language what is actually happening here with Indigo right now and what it says about India's growth. So our systems and even our attitude towards human limits. So from around 4th December, Indigo has been cancelling hundreds of flights every day. On some days, 500 to 550 flights were cancelled in a single day. So airports like in Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai, Pune and others have seen mass cancellations on huge delays. So many passengers got to the airport only to find their flights suddenly cancelled with very little clarity on what to do next. And social media is full of angry posts, emotional videos, and photos of crowded terminals. So the basic picture is that Indigo's schedule is broken, the system is overloaded, and passengers are stuck in the middle. So why is this happening? So in simple words, recently India Aviation Regulator brought in new safety rules for pilots and crew. So they are called flight duty time limitations. So, but you don't need to remember this term. So they increase the amount of rest pilots must get every week. So they limit how many flights pilots can do at night. They stretch what counts as night time to better protect pilots from fatigue. So pilots are also human beings, not machines. So let them rest more, let them fly less at crazy hours because tired pilots are a risk to safety. So these are the rules apply to all airlines, not just to Indigo. So the big question is, if the rules are for everyone, why is Indigo suffering the most? That is because around 65% of India's domestic air traffic is handled by Indigo and over 2000 flights a day across India and abroad. So they built a business model that is super efficient. Lots of late night, early morning flights, every high utilization of aircraft and crew, very tight schedules with very little stack. So that works beautifully when everything is normal. But when the rules suddenly say give pilots more days off, cut down on the night flights, then a tightly packed system like Indigo's can crack if it has not been replanned properly. So, and that's basically what the regulator itself has said. The disruptions came mainly from misjudgment and planning gaps by Indigo in how they implemented the new pilot duty rules. So, in short, the rules are changed for safety. Indigo did not adjust fast enough, and now passengers are paying the price. So, what are the government and Indigo doing now is once this panic became national news with cancellations in the hundreds every single day, the regulator and government stepped in. A few key things happened. The aviation regulator gave Indigo a one-time relaxation from some of the stricter night duty rules for pilots. A rule that said pilot leave cannot count as a weekly rest was withdrawn for now to give airlines more flexibility in managing rosters. Indigo has told the regulator that it expects stable operations only by around 10th February. So this is not a one-day story. It's a long repair job. The single airline has publicly apologized and is offering full refunds and waivers on cancellation reschedule fees for many bookings between 5th to 15th December, and say refunds will be processed automatically. So the deeper lesson is here: growth systems and human limits. So now this is not just a story about one airline messing up, it's also a story about India in 2025. India is trying to do many things at once: grow the economy, connect smaller cities by air, and make flying affordable for the average person, and keep with global safety standards. When a country grows this fast, something very important happens. The weak spots start to show. Our airports become stress tested. Our airlines become stress tested. Our rules, our planning, our backup systems, everything is pushed to the limit. Indigo's cancellations are like a warning light on the dashboard. The light itself is annoying, but it's telling you, if you ignore me, a bigger breakdown is coming. So here the warning is clear. You cannot run a modern aviation system by stretching pilots to the edge of their endurance. Safety must come first. You cannot depend on one airline for most of your domestic connectivity and then be shocked when its internal planning failure hits the whole country. You cannot plan only for efficiency and profit and forget resilience and backup. For passengers, their anger is valid. If you have had a flight cancelled, your anger is 100% valid. You missed weddings, you lost money and hotels and taxis, you spent nights on uncomfortable airport chairs. Be angry, but also be informed. Because when you understand the why behind this, you don't just shout at the airline, you start demanding better system from everyone, better crisis communication, better backup plans, better regulation and enforcement, better competition, so one airline do not become a single point of failure. And as the viewers, as citizens, we must also support the idea that a rested pilot is more important than a one-time flight, on-time flight. So we would rather endure delays today than become a headline of a tragedy tomorrow. So India is growing fast, maybe faster than some of our systems can handle. Human beings, even in sharp uniforms and cockpits, have limits, and those limits must be respected. Every crisis is also a classroom. If it teaches airlines, regulators, and passengers what must change next. If we learn the right lessons from this mess, we will get stronger rules that truly protect safety. Smarter planning from airlines, and hopefully a future where flying in India is not just cheap and frequent but reliable and deeply safe. Until then, the inconvenience is real, the frustration is real, but the bigger story is this: India's aviation is being forced to grow up, and sometimes growth looks chaos before it looks like progress. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Fly safe, and may your next boarding pass actually lead to take